All right, welcome everyone to our Wednesday Kundalini Yoga. I'm glad you're all here, and hopefully you're all well. Okay, everyone's here. Hi Stacia, you made it in, and Virginia made it, and Marston, and Cash. Yeah, so here we are, another week in the surreal world of life as we know it in 2020. I mean, today I'm laughing. A couple of days ago I was not laughing, but just like, I'm laughing at myself because I've been telling many of you how intense things were going to get, and then it's just like, here we are. And I don't know if you all have listened to my recent podcasts. So I created one about Mars, and then there was one that came out this past Friday called Coming to Center, and it's about the Cancer new moon, but also kind of like an addition onto what's happening with Mars, because I go into a little bit more depth about Black Moon Lilith and Chiron. And if you haven't had a chance to listen to, I would really recommend both of those podcasts, because there's the astrology of this year is so complex, and it was part of the reason why in quarantine I was guided to just start my podcast. It's been something I've been wanting to do for like a decade, and I'm like, oh, I'll do that like after this thing happens and after that thing happens. And then when quarantine came, I was like, I'm just gonna start my podcast. And there's a podcast that when I have time, I listen to. I don't have a lot of free time to listen to it, but he was commenting on how apparently a lot of people started podcasts in quarantine because I have a Blue Yeti, which is a very common podcast mic that people use, and they were like all sold out. Like I think like 3 weeks into quarantine, like they were gone. Like everyone was like podcasting all of a sudden. But the astrology of 2020 is so complex. There's so many parts to it, and that's one of the things I like about the podcast, is that I can pick a section and go into more depth. So the Mars section, the reason why I'm bringing it up again, we spoke about it a little bit last Wednesday. Beth had some great questions. Did you go listen to it, Beth? I'm gonna put you on the spot. Yeah, okay, you're awesome. Because not everyone will do that. I just want to acknowledge Beth and people like Beth, like, where like you have questions and then someone says, well, here's some of the answers, but there's actually more answers if you go here to this resource and you dive in. And people don't do that so much these days. I mean, maybe now more in quarantine, but it's important, it's important we're like educating ourselves, we're doing our research, we're diving in, and that's one of the benefits of these times. And I spoke about it in the last podcast, episode 6. Like, I think one of the greatest gifts of this time is that as much as it's been challenging to not gather in groups and to not really stay connected, it's also been a gift because it's allowed everybody's energetic frequency to really come to center. I mean, that's why I named that podcast episode Coming to Center, because it's like really drawing within and getting really clear, and not just in the physical day-to-day, but I'm talking about in the psychic space too. Like there's been a lot of opportunity to clear out your own psychic space, because when we're in big groups a lot, we're picking up other people's stuff all the time. So today, the sun entered Leo actually just a few minutes ago, about 15 minutes ago. And right now the moon's in Leo too. And that's why I'm bringing up the Mars work, because now that we're in Leo season, we're about to ramp up with the Mars work. So if you've been feeling like the pace has been a little bit slow and, you know, kind of like, where's the action? Well, don't worry, the action is coming. And starting in the beginning of August, Mars is going to be making aspects to different planets. And in September, we're going to have more activations as Mars goes retrograde. So we're going to start to see more action. And with that, we might see a rise too in more numbers with this virus, and we may not. You know, it's hard to predict. I mean, that's the thing, like astrologers who predict all this stuff, I think can be really dangerous, because we know an aspect is coming, but how that aspect will actually play out, I mean, there's 1,000,001 possibilities at any given point. And so what we can predict is the frequency, the energetic of what might happen. But for instance, Venus just went retrograde, right, in May. And when Venus went retrograde, Venus stationed directly on my natal Venus. And I had a concept of what that Venus retrograde, how it was going to hit me, because I knew where it was falling in my chart, and I know the work I've been doing consciously with Venus for years and what was getting cleared out. And what Venus brought to me was something totally different. And it kind of like, you know, it kind of shocked me a little bit. And that can happen, right? But I knew something major was going to happen, and it was a really important, powerful purge, especially because I turned 40 during that retrograde. And if you follow like numerology, 40 is it's like a very sacred gate to walk through. Like a lot of indigenous cultures will not allow someone to really study the mysticism of the culture until they've turned 40. And one of the reasons for that is that our actual physical body has not calibrated enough to the earth plane to be able to receive those teachings without potentially losing their mind, you know, going insane, literally. Like, I know that particularly like within Kabbalah, like you don't really want to study Kabbalah until you're 40, because the frequency can be so much and it can make you spin out a little bit. So we're here, the sun's in Leo, and this is also Mary Magdalene's feast day. And one of the things I've been seeing over the past 3-4 years, particularly with social media, is more and more awareness around Mary Magdalene. And I think people tend to like really gravitate to certain parts of what she brought to the earth, and that being like her relationship with Yeshua, and this her connection to sacred sexuality. And if you don't know, like it's believed she was a priestess of Isis, and she spent many years in Egypt studying, and that was really where she learned some of this sacred sexuality. And so much of it goes into the Ka body, which again, if you haven't listened to episode 6, I talk about the Ka body and all of this. And that's all one part of her archetype and the gifts she brought to the earth. But what I personally have really experienced in connecting with her, especially when we were on pilgrimage in southern France, which, excuse me, which was 2 years ago around this time. And actually I was supposed to be there this August, but had to postpone that pilgrimage. And if you don't know, after the death of Yeshua, Mary Magdalene got on a boat with different members of her family. I mean, a lot of this is really buried and hidden in mythology, so it's all up to pretty much the storyteller's lens, right? But they got on a boat and they sailed and they washed ashore in southern France. And it's this today where they came is this beautiful little city. It's not a city, it's like a seaside town on the Mediterranean in the Carmouche. And basically what I feel is so important about this whole frequency of Mary Magdalene, especially for us in these times, is that when we're in our authenticity, when we're in our sovereignty, when we're truly in our power, it is not, it's not an easy path. And the mythology goes that she spent a good chunk of her life in southern France, traveling and teaching and sharing different wisdom, which then became embedded in the Cathar religion. And if you don't know much about the Cathars, you might want to do some research because it's pretty fascinating. But they were a people really fierce and also very much in alignment with standing up for sovereignty and truth in these times, truth in the times that they lived. And they were persecuted. They were heavily persecuted. And what I believe about Mary Magdalene is that she was also heavily persecuted. Not just was she misunderstood in her connection with Yeshua, because in many ways, I mean, she was his divine counterpart. And as much as he was a teacher, she was a teacher. And they came together to create this wholeness, but each of them had their own wholeness and their own frequency. And he would not have been able to do what he did without her, and vice versa. Like they really activated, they activated certain codes in one another that then created something even more potent and more powerful. And she was very much misunderstood within that circle. But once he died or ascended, whatever version of the story you believe in, I mean, I'm not going there right now because that's like, we could talk about that for thousands of years, because that's what people like to do, is debate about these stories. But there's a core truth within all of it. And the core truth about her was that there was never really a moment where she had the ability to rest, in the sense that she was always challenged to stay in her truth and in her sovereignty, even amongst those who were closest to her. And I think that is an important frequency to connect with in these times, especially as we're going more and more into this Aquarian age, and we're getting to a point where things are becoming more and more transhuman. And when I speak to transhuman, I'm not talking about gender. I'm talking about technology, and how more and more people are allowing technology inside of their bodies. Not just, like first we got the phone and it was like, okay, we're going to have it everywhere, right? But there are people who are accepting, the technology into their bodies. And that creates like a transhuman. I mean, that creates something that is beyond. We don't fully understand what happens when the human psyche mixes with electronics, And so this is a time where we're all voting with reality. Everything we do behind closed doors in our own personal lives, the choices we make is an opportunity to vote for the reality you want to be a part of, the reality you want to live in. So I just feel like it's important to speak to this level of sovereignty on a day like today, where it's an opportunity to honor this powerful, highly, highly misunderstood archetype of Mary Magdalene, who so much, you know, it's a continuation of the thread of the divine feminine, where the story has been hacked and shifted so that it's very confusing to know what is what. You know, a lot of that has been done intentionally. However, even within that truth, we can find a thread, a core that is true. And that's kind of where we are here now. You know, it's like July 22nd. We've been in this quarantine situation since March. We don't know, you know, we don't know when we're coming out, right? Like, there's so many different theories. And so we're in this like very much kind of unknown phase. And in this time, it can be really easy to get thrown off from your thread of truth, from your core. And now that we're in Leo season, I mean, Leo is all about the heart. And the word courage, core, is heart. To have courage is to come from the heart. And that is what is so necessary for these times. I mean, that is when you're really in your heart and you act from your heart and you speak from your heart, that requires courage to keep that heart space open and protected, but also free to receive and to give. I mean, that's such that's the journey of human life, right? So we're going into this next layer with there's going to be a lot more activity and action in the world around us. And as we're at this space, it's just important to keep coming back to center, to be rooting, to be grounding, to check in with yourself and your own sovereignty, your own authenticity, and making sure you stay aligned within it and that you're not getting swayed by the outer world as things start to pick up. So with that, we're gonna do some yoga today that is going to bring in some movement, some dancing. Are you all up for a little dancing? Okay, cool. It's like, it's a little harder to read the energy. You know, I'm like looking at all your faces. It's like a little harder to read the energy when we're doing this versus when we're in class together. But hey, you know, we're gonna make it work. I was just like, Sun's in Leo, Venus is in Leo, like we gotta get the energy moving a little bit. So we're gonna work with one of my favorite Kriyas, a really beautiful one for the nervous system. And then the meditation we're gonna work with, the mantra that was just playing, we're gonna continue with that sound current. And it's a meditation for planetary healing. And it's really beautiful and grounding. So I think it's a good time to just come back, get grounded, get anchored, strengthen the nervous system, and then really beam that energy out so that the whole planet can receive this solid, connected source of stability that we're working with today. So please come and sit up nice and tall if you're not already. Close the eyes and rub together the palms of the hands. And press the palms together at the heart center. Inhale deeply. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale to tune in. Om Namah Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale deeply. Hold the breath, squeeze the root lock, press the tip of the tongue up to the roof of the mouth as you close the eyes and they're focused at the brow. And exhale. And inhale. Adgare Name, Jugadgare Name, Satgare Name, Siddhi Gunadeve Name. Adgare Name, Jugadgare Name, Satgare Name, Siddhi Gunadeve Name. Adgare Name, Jugadgare Name, Satgare Name, Siddhi Gunadeve Name. And a deep breath in. Hold the breath and create an intention for this practice where you wish to come deeper into your core, into your cord of truth. And exhale. And again, another deep breath. And hold the breath and see that prayer, that intention coming down, dropping into the heart space where it can take seed, it can anchor. And exhale. Okay, bringing the arms up overhead. Hands are in fists, thumbs are extended, and you'll begin with a breath of fire. Equal inhale, equal exhale through the nose. And inhale deeply. Squeeze the root lock. Bring the thumbs so they touch overhead. Stretch the fingers up to the sky. Press the tip of the tongue up to the roof of the mouth. Squeeze the spine. Imagine it's a golden pillar of light from the base of the spine all the way to the crown of the head and up and out. And exhale, open the arms out wide. Relax the hands down to the knees. Take a few long, deep breaths here, in and out through the nose. And as you breathe, really, when you inhale, see that belly expanding, the womb space expanding. And as you exhale, the navel coming back towards the spine. Soften through the jaw, the throat, the neck, or any other spaces where maybe you tend to habitually hold tension. So now we're gonna work with the fists of anger because we are still in the middle of a powerful retrograde season, and with a lot of the Mars work we're going to be doing, this is a way to really clear out any frustration, any unresolved anger. So thumbs are going to come to the base of the Mercury mound, the pinky mound. You make a fist over it. You take one arm back and then the next, and you breathe through an O-shaped mouth. Equal inhale, equal exhale. Eyes are closed, and you take the arms all the way up and back. You're also cleansing the auric field and the arc line here. So it's real important that fists go up and over and not like to the side like they do sometimes on people. They go up and back. Nice, powerful, rhythmic breath here. Let's like stay with it. Nice, powerful, rhythmic breath. Equal inhale, equal exhale. And it's good when you're doing this to get fierce, to get angry, anywhere where you're feeling frustrated or like things are not working or moving in your life, like there's a block. Move the breath there with that, holding that in your consciousness so you can help to move it out psychically. And inhale. You're going to interlace the hands, take them up overhead, palms stretch up to the sky, squeeze the root lock, tip of tongue up to the roof of the mouth. Keep the arms up, exhale powerfully. Inhale. Squeeze the root lock. Tip of tongue touches the roof of the mouth. Squeeze, stretch up. Exhale. Once more, inhale. Squeeze, stretch up. Tongue touches the roof of the mouth. And exhale. Relax the hands down. Again, go back to that long, deep breathing in and out through the nose. One more deep inhale through the nose. And exhale. And from here, please come onto the hands and the knees. And you'll begin to move through cat-cow. And one of the things that I spoke to you in this last episode of the podcast, can you all hear me okay? Okay. Just wanted to make sure. I saw Virginia moving. I was like, is she gonna tell me she can't hear me? Yeah, one of the things that I spoke to in this podcast about the Cancer new moon, which we just had on Monday, that I think is really, really important that I would invite you to do is, even if you've already made your new moon intentions and you haven't done this, I'd invite you to go back and do it. If you've been writing intentions for a while, go all the way back to December of 2017. It was a Sagittarius new moon, but that was when Saturn went into Capricorn. And the reason why I'm suggesting that is because this new moon directly opposed Saturn in Capricorn with Saturn retrograde. And in December of this year, Saturn is moving into Aquarius and will be complete with its journey in Capricorn. So this is a really important time to go back because Saturn is about to start a whole new cycle. And we had the Saturn-Pluto conjunction at the beginning of 2020. And so it's a really important time to look at, like, what have you been building with Saturn since the end of 2017? And where are you with all those intentions? What have you accomplished? What still is alive? Like, it's good to take stock like that. And this new moon, even though the new moon is technically complete, and you know the moon's already in Leo and soon will be in Virgo, we're still in the new moon phase, right? The moon is still waxing and hasn't even come to a first quarter moon yet. So you have until about Friday morning to really do this.
Said we are to dance on this ground, the rhythm of sails to carry the sun, and pray for the earth, and the ones yet to come. May you walk in beauty and remember your song. Blessed we are to dance on this ground, the rhythm of sails to carry the sun. We pray for all life and the days yet to come. May you walk in beauty and remember your song. Remember why you carried me. Remember your life is sanctified. Remember why you carried me.
And please inhale deeply, arch the spine down, lift up through the head and the neck, press the tip of the tongue up to the roof of the mouth. And exhale, tuck the chin into the chest, arch the spine up, hold the breath out. Inhale, come to a neutral spine, and then exhale, come sink back onto the heels. Forehead comes down to the earth. Left and right palms press together out long in front of the body. Take some nice, long, deep breaths here. Breathing deep into the kidneys, into the adrenals, filling up the back body, filling up the lungs and the heart space with breath. And as you breathe here, just allowing yourself to trust in this moment, to trust the timing of your life and all of the layers and the experiences that have brought you to this moment. Just really breathing deep into that trust. And even if it's challenging for you to conjure that trust in this moment, see if you can just flip a switch in your brain and imagine it to be so, even if it doesn't feel like it is for you. And take a nice deep breath in and inhale, come rising up. You'll come up to sit and you're going to take the legs nice and wide out in front of the body, but out into a V. The feet will be flexed. And you'll inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, come over to the left side. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, over to the right. And you'll move like a wave from side to side. You are the love of thousands. You are the love of thousands. Oh, Nana, remember more each day. Who you've always been. Songs of resilience come coursing through your veins. Your hair alive in this very moment. I carry the fragrance. And once more to either side, finishing up on the right hand side, and then you'll inhale up through center. Exhale, bend forward through center. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bend forward. once more, inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bend forward, hold the posture, hold the breath out as you hold that forward bend. And inhale, come rising up. Okay, so coming to sit up, you're gonna cross the legs and make sure you're comfortable. You'll be seated just for a little bit of time. And you're gonna begin to bend through the elbows and begin to move rhythmically and shake through the elbows. And as you do, you're activating the entire nervous system and allow the nervous system to let go. Anything you're holding really deep within, begin to imagine you're literally shaking it out. Keep moving, keep shaking, keep the arms up, find your own rhythm here. down all the blocks, shake out all the barriers.
Santa Guru Prasad, Santa Guru Prasad, Ekonka, Ekonka, 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 Santa Guru Prasad, Santa Guru Prasad. 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 Ekonka.
That's it. Stay with it. Just a little bit more here. Allowing the nervous system to shed layer after layer.
Ekonka, Santa Guru Prasad, Santa Guru Prasad. Ekonka, 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 Ekonka, Santa Guru Prasad, Santa Guru Prasad. Ekonka.
And take a nice deep breath in and stretch the arms up overhead. Stretch all the way up to the sky. Squeeze the root lock. Tap the tip of the tongue up to the roof of the mouth. This activates the connection with the pineal gland. And just see your spine a golden tube of radiance. And exhale. Bring the arms down. And take some shoulder rolls, bringing the shoulders up to the ears, and exhale, roll them back and down a few times. And from here, you're going to come up to stand. And you're going to find your way up to stand, and you're going to begin to shake now, moving through the hips. And you can either just move side to side, or you can jump up and move from side to side, whatever feels appropriate for you. You're just going to begin to shake and dance and really move through the hips and the shoulders. Keep moving the hips. Really move the hips. You want to open the joints. Anywhere where there's stored emotion, we're going to shake it out. Standing with the feet about hip width, toes pointed straight ahead. Inhale, take the arms up overhead, stretch up. Keep the arms up, exhale. Another deep breath in. And this time as you exhale, open the arms out wide like wings of a bird and come bend forward, coming into a forward bend as you stand, and you can allow the head and neck to hang, grab hold of opposite elbows if that feels good to you. And take some long, deep breaths here. I want to say for Olivia, since you're healing, just really take care of your body. I know you've been doing that, but I just want to make sure you're staying safe. And from here, bring the hands down to the earth, and you're going to walk the feet back. You're going to come into a triangle pose. And then melt the knees down to the earth. And you're going to come and sit up in a cross-legged position once more. The palms of the hands are going to touch overhead. So arms are up overhead, palms of hands touch. And you're going to inhale, twist left. Exhale, twist right. Inhale left, exhale right.
The passage of these rites, with the wisdom of the cycle, and the mother blood that gives me life, and the waking of her daughter, and the bearing of these bones to the birthing waters, where I find myself reborn. I honor my lineage. angels that honor my lineage. Lineage, I honor my lineage. Lineage, as I dance on the spiral through the passage of these.
And inhale through center, palms pressed together, arms up overhead. Stretch up and exhale. Relax the hands to the knees for a moment here. Take a couple long, deep breaths. In and out through the nostrils. And then from here, please come onto the hands and the knees. So you're going to set up like you're coming into cat-cow. You're in a table position. And you're going to bring the left leg out long behind you. And you're going to inhale. And as you exhale, you bring your forehead towards the floor. And the leg comes up behind you. And you inhale, rise up through center, exhale. That left leg comes up and back, forehead comes down to the earth, and you'll move in this rhythm.
Dance on the spiral. Dance on the spiral. As I dance on the spiral. I dance on the spiral. As I dance on the spiral. Dance on the spiral. As I dance on the spiral. Dance on the spiral. Dance on the spiral. As I dance on the spiral. Dance on the spiral. Oh.
And once more, lifting up on that left leg, and then inhale through center in the table and relax the left knee to the earth as you exhale. And now you'll bring the right leg out behind you, and you'll inhale and exhale, bring that forehead down to the earth as that right leg lifts. Continuing on the side.
Love opens up the day, guides us on our way, illuminates the path we are to walk. Love lifts us high. Precious love we hold in the center of the soul. My love embraces you long after we have said our goodbye.
And again, once more on the right leg. And then you'll relax, bring that knee down to the earth. And now you're going to come stand up on your knees. So you're going to be on your knees, and you're going to take the hands to the palms of the hands to the kidney area, the low back. And you're going to inhale through center, and exhale, you'll just come and bend back a little bit to where it feels safe for you. And you'll inhale, spine up tall through center, exhale, bend back. Continuing like this, gently activating the kidneys and the adrenals and sending this space of yourself with so much love and gratitude for the ways they filter out the fear in the body.
Love
more, coming back, and then inhale back up through center. And you'll exhale, you'll come to sit, and then you're gonna come onto your back. So you're gonna come onto your back and you're gonna hug the knees into the chest, but you're not gonna actually keep the hands wrapped around the knees. You're gonna place the hands underneath the buttocks, the palms underneath the buttocks. And you're gonna engage the root lock as the knees are tucked in, and then you're going to extend the legs straight out long in front of you off the ground about 6 inches, and then bring the legs straight up in the air. And then the knees come bend back into the chest. And you're gonna move like this, legs out, up, into chest, with your own rhythm, your own breath here. You determine the breath that works for you. And if you keep the root lock engaged and the core muscles, it'll make it more of a core building exercise, especially when the legs come out long. And one more flow here, and then inhale, bring the legs straight up in the air and hold them. And exhale. The legs will come down. We have one more exercise to do here, and then we'll go into our meditation. So this is everyone's favorite. I know you all have been missing this. You're gonna bring your right hand to your heart and your left hand over your right. And you're gonna engage your root lock. You're gonna engage the entire core. And you're gonna inhale. And as you inhale, you're gonna come to sit up from the place. And then you're gonna bend your forehead all the way towards your knees. And then you're gonna slowly come back down onto your back. So that was one, that's a yogic sit-up. Now, if your core really can't get you up, then you can start from the seated position with the legs out long and just come and bend forward over the legs. For everyone else, you can start all the way down on your back and do the full yogic sit-up. So wherever your body is today, just honoring that. And if you need extra support, you can always place the hands underneath your buttocks, but ideally they stay at the heart. Completing one more cycle here, and then come to your back. Please just take a moment, lie down on the ground, relax the arms down by the sides of the body, close the eyes, and just find stillness here. Imagine you're lying directly on the earth herself, and Mother Earth is just receiving you. She knows your name, she knows your fears, she knows your dreams. And whatever you're willing to let go of, to dissolve here and now, she's ready to receive, to take in, to dispel, to transmute.
लहना तू है खुर्रम तू बेचारिया नानक तू लहना तू है खुर्रम तू बेचारिया.
One more deep breath here. And exhale. Take a moment, circle through the ankles and the wrists in one direction. And then circle through them in the opposite direction. Rub together the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet vigorously. And then hug the knees into the chest. And inhale, rock back, and exhale, rock forward. And you're going to find yourself coming up to sit. Okay, so we're going to move into our meditation. We're going to be chanting the sound current. Ad Sach, Jugad Sach, Hey Be Sach, Nanak Hosi Be Sach. So this is a sound current that is all about truth, and that truth withstands the test of time. So the mudra is you're going to press the palms of the fingers tips together, but the palms do not touch. Okay, so fingertips touch, palms do not touch, and then the right thumb crosses over the left. Okay, so right thumb over left, fingers touch, palms do not touch. Everyone got that, yeah? And then you're just gonna hug the elbows into the chest. So the mudra is just kind of right in front of your heart center. I just held mine up so you all could see my hands. Okay, so hands are down at the heart. The eyes are closed. And we'll be chanting together in a moment, but for now, just take some long, deep breaths. And as you're breathing, just imagine any doors that have been closed to you that you know you need to walk through in life. Imagine that the sound current is going to open them for you. It's going to open any blocks. It's going to cut through adversity. It's going to cut through fear and negativity. And it's going to uplift whatever has been holding you back. And begin to chant. Such to God, such heaven, such Nanak Hosi Be such such to God, such heaven, such Nanak Hosi Be such to God, such heaven, such Nanak Hosi Be such. Such to God, such heaven, such Nanak Hosi Be such to God, such heaven, such Nanak Hosi Be such to God, such heaven, such Nanak Hosi Be such. Such to God, such heaven, such Nanak Hosi Be such to God, such heaven, such Nanak Hosi Be such to God, such heaven, such Nanak Hosi Be such. Such to God, such heaven, such Nanak Hosi Be such to God, such heaven, such Nanak Hosi Be such to God, such
sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach, at sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak hosi be sach. At sach, jugat sach, hebe sach, nanak
Please inhale deeply, hold the breath, hold the posture. And exhale. Relax the hands down. Keep the eyes closed. Just take a couple breaths here, staying within. And giving gratitude for this practice, giving gratitude for this day, giving gratitude for this sacred breath of life. And all of the beautiful elements that come together to create all of that which we are. And rub together the palms of the hands, pressing them into the heart. Take a deep breath in. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Now, may there be peace on earth. May there be peace on earth. May there be peace on earth. Sat Nam. Thank you all for joining today. It was great to have you here. How's everyone doing? Good? Nice to see you all. I hope you have a wonderful week.